Hey guys, Brass Facts here now on the 78th take. This has been recording for the last 30 minutes, but we're gonna get through it. Go on the Nova Group channel to see the complete disaster that was this video's recording. Let's try it again. Okay, so SHOT Show 2024, you've seen a billion videos, but I'm gonna add one more to the pile and basically talk about what I was interested in, what's relevant to the channel, and, dabble in that. Remember, it's SHOT Show, so basically everything we say and see is based off of what someone else told us, and it's SHOT Show, so there's a good chance about 50% of it is completely made up on the spot. So take everything with a giant pile of Morton salt. Starting out with lasers, the ACAL, the OGL, the Iris. Well, fortunately for you, I've already made that video over, also the Nova Group channel, so go ahead, head over there and check that out if you're into lasers and night vision, but we're gonna move on from that. So, Desert Tech came out with a new rifle. Well, sort of. It basically looks identical to the MDRX. It went on a total white girl body detox cleanser and lost a bunch of weight. Same externals, but a much more robust and importantly lighter weight interior for about a total pound of weight savings, and in theory, increased accuracy. They're also releasing a new rail in conjunction with the Wyvern, I can't get it straight. It's supposed to be Wolverine, but I can't read acronyms longer than 3 letters. But a new rail is coming out, and my impromptu booth barrel squeezing seems to indicate, yeah, it seems to work and it seems to hold zero. I think you have to purchase it separately, TBD, honestly. Also, 300 blackout barrels are back on the menu, so I foresee a 300 blackout Micron in my future. It's basically an entire new gun at that point. Oh, before we proceed, this video and the complete degeneracy that resulted from it was sponsored by Venture Surplus, a place where you guessed it, where you can go ahead and buy surplus gear. I promise that's the last time I'm going to make that joke.
That was a joke?
Anyway, sometimes it's nice to buy fancy top-of-the-line nylon gear, but about 73% of the time, it's nice to buy surplus gear and save, 72% off of retail. These numbers are entirely accurate, do not question it. Really, most of the time, the items you can buy in Venture Surplus are going to be basically brand new or entirely brand new, or have been used once when being moved from one box to another. And hey, sometimes they're completely beat to shit and used, but I think that's what the kids call sobble, so that's cool too. Anyways, thank you for Venture Surplus and, sorry. Okay, next up, the Elan. Somebody told me there was a new Elan, and that was literally the first booth I went to at SHOT Show. The new and improved Elan is neither new nor improved. It's the exact same optic. They put a Picatinny rail on top, put a lefty throw lever on it, and the mini backup sights have been killed. None of the major gripes have been addressed. Same thick reticle, arms mount, whatever. Honestly, not a huge deal. I'm cool with iteration, I guess, but holy fuck, it cost $1,000 more with an MSRP of $3,000. Yeah, I don't see how anyone's going to buy this. Anyone that likes the Elan is just going to buy the old one, and the cloners are also going to buy the old ones because no one is using this thing right now. So, I am interested in the Psi LPVO, which got a couple new reticles. So maybe I'll take a look at that one. Next up, Flux. Anyone that hates the Flux Raider, which is probably about 50% of you, please move on. This is a PDW neighborhood. For those that do care, Flux Raider released their new 365, Flux Raider, which is not just a rehashed Flux Raider, but really quite a novel design, and honestly, in a lot of ways, a more practical variant of the regular Raider. While the original probably wins out in the recoil management department with a straight inline stock, the 365 has an angled stock, resulting in it being able to fit in basically a completely normal holster while being quick deploy with the same girth and a slightly longer length than a normal handgun. As long as it shoots remotely well, I think this is going to be an absolute win. Next up is Hallson. Like I said, already did the laser, and I couldn't find the flashlight because the Hallson booth is where hopes and dreams go to die. Literally everyone is there trying to look at the night vision optic, so I'll save that commentary for someone else, maybe TFB TV. But they also released a thermal pistol red dot sight, which maybe I'm missing the plot here, but I don't understand why anyone would ever want this on a handgun. But it's 509T pattern. It's not oversized because they moved the thermal, thing to a different object that is wirelessly connected. So maybe put it offset or piggyback on a rifle and use it for scanning on confirmation in conjunction with a normal optic. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
You thought pairing your phone to your sat-nav was a pain in the ass. Just wait till you have to pair your thermal sensor module to your optic.
Wait till you turn on the microwave and your thermal optic goes offline. Millennials will recognize this one as when they try to go on the internet and their parents use the phone and the dial-up dies. This is the new and improved version. Next up, Leopold came out with the Mark IV series, which is basically a Mark V, the thing I reviewed on the channel earlier, but cheaper and mostly the same. Remember, it's Leopold, so Leopold cheap means it's still $1,000 to $1,500, still in the premium category for a lot of people.
Leopold.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Leopold.
The 2.5 to 10x is probably gonna be a complete joke. I get wanting to hit a target price, but no side focus adjust, no illumination for $1,000. I don't think that's going to do so well. The rest of the scope lineup looks pretty promising, though. It depends on the glass quality. It's good to at least see that Leopold is finally dabbling into the cost-effective category. Alright, Magpul. Magpul made a see-through mag. It's not Lancer squishy, but it's still kind of squishy, so it's obviously not fiberglass reinforced nylon. I'll probably just buy 8 and use them as my training mags for a year. It doesn't do the Lancer thing where you tap it on the ground where 3 rounds come out the top. I expect at minimum this is just going to brutalize the Lancer market share, but the Gen 3 PMAG is still going to remain as the go-to. Next up, we went to Nocturne. They're sort of the 3D printed boys on the block, but the newest offerings are actually, or at least a lot of them, are all metal and seem really promising. I'll be frank, I had to look up all the names because Nut and Fancy was about 4 feet away from us, and me and Hop were giggling like little girls. Anyways, the metal katana is about a hair less than 16 ounces, and there's an injected molded version of the katana, I forgot the name, at about 14 ounces. We'll see how the durability of the lighter katana ends up being, but both of those weights are absolutely stand out, so seems like a good option if you're getting into night vision.
It was just discovered that the Argus housing was in fact as Chinese as everybody thought, so the Argus BNVDs may in fact no longer be available, so if you're looking for affordable binos.
Actually made in America.
Not just stamped.
Excellent. Okay, over to Primary Arms. They came out with the PLXC Nova. Everyone's talking about it. I don't think it's as exciting as everyone makes it out to be. It's a Razor HD. Now it's 17 ounces, not 23 ounces. Okay, you get 2 more X to boot. It has that same bezel-less design, so it beats out all the dime a dozen Fiber Bright reticles on the market, at least on a performance standpoint. Logical next step for the PLXC. Good product, great even, but I'd never personally buy one. I buy LPVOs for complex reticles. Red Dot Bright is a treat, but not a requirement, especially when it comes with the downsides of a Fiber Bright reticle. They also came out with the 1X GLX microprism. It looks a little less like a Chernobyl tumor like the original SLX 1X does, but internally I kind of struggle to tell the difference between the two looking at them side by side. The better news here is that it probably presumes the creation of eventual GLX 3X microprism, and because the GLX series seems to have a much larger ocular, I think that'll actually be a pretty big hit. We'll see, I guess. Next up, the Voodoo X. So EOTech is making a kind of budget variant of their Voodoo lineup, and they're calling it the X for reasons. It's like a budget Voodoo, but for your granddad. Seriously though, it's a Cabela Shield style optic. It's going to do great there and nowhere else. It's a 2-12 optic, while looking pretty good, and it's, cheap to boot. It doesn't have a turret, and it has a duplex reticle with no subtensions at all. Or you can go for the 4-dot drop MOA thing that looks like a ripped off Nikon Pro Staff reticle. It just really doesn't fit into the tactical crowd. The 1-6X might be a little better, but once again, same reticle options. Next up, PSA. I don't need to talk about the MP7. Everyone else has that already covered, but in short, I wish it was a 9mm, but then it wouldn't be an MP7, so of course it's not a 9mm. Maybe the coolest gun I saw at the booth was the AK-12 looking thing. I'm starting to become AK curious once again, so maybe that's an option or an interesting rifle, but it was distinctly listed as a prototype. They also sort of showed us a Jackal bullpup, which was surprisingly not terrible at all and would probably rate as like a top 3 bullpup if it worked. But I'm a lefty, so there's no hope in hell that I can use this thing, so whatever. Okay, that was about it. That took somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 hours to film because I got molested by the 3 other people in the room. But
I think molest is a pretty strong,
That's a very
strong
strong
word.
word.
I think it was more like just
A lot of stuff happened to him, and I don't think he consented to most of it.
you were basically asking for it, bro.
Yeah.
But his top button is undone right now.
on that note, I'm sure I'll be reviewing a lot of these in the coming year, and obviously a bunch of other stuff we saw at SHOT Show. I hope I've been holding this mic at the correct distance from my face, otherwise this audio is going to sound like shit. Thank you all you crazy fools that intercepted me on the floor to say hi this year. It was nice meeting you guys, and I look forward to another year of Ass Facts. See ya!